Hi guys, happy Manifestation Monday. I'm coming on here a little bit late, and I might do this one a little bit shorter just because I'm running a little bit behind schedule today, but I want to make sure I come on and talk about the third chakra. So today I'm going to be talking about how to balance your third chakra. What is the third chakra all about? In order to help us vibrate a little bit higher so we can manifest with ease. So, if you're new to manifestation, one of the keys of manifestation is feeling good, right? So, I'm doing the chakra series, talking about each chakra each week because chakras are a way to help us feel good, to vibrate higher. They essentially look at different parts of our lives and looks at the energy in that part of our lives and helps us to balance that energy so we can live a more fulfilled, more balanced life, right? And they build upon each other. So the first chakra is all about like basic foundational, survival and feeling safe and secure. Then the second chakra last week we talked about how that one's all about pleasure after we feel safe in the first chakra. The second one was about pleasure and our right to pleasure. And today we are going to be talking about willpower and the third chakra is all about willpower. It's all about self confidence. It's all about autonomy, individuation. So it's all about now that we're feeling safe, we're starting to thrive a little bit in the second chakra. And now the third chakra is about defining who we are and moving forward in that space in a healthy way. So if you can balance this chakra, you're definitely going to be vibrating higher, but also manifesting with more ease because this chakra helps you take action that is aligned with what you value and what you want for your life. So I have my notes here. I'm just going to jump right in so we can get started, and you guys can learn all about this chakra and ask me any questions that you may like. So, like I said, the drive of this third chakra is willpower. The color is yellow. Okay, the body parts are our abdomen, our digestive system, our lower back. So that's like center of us, this core. This is the part that moves us. So it makes sense that it's all about action, defining ourselves. Our core is really kind of like what moves us forward. And so that's what that third chakra energy is all about. So, really take a look at this part of your life when it comes to your ability to be self disciplined, to have willpower, to set about what you want and take action towards it. Kind of ask yourself, how's that going for you in your life? Are you more passive and you're just letting life live you? Or are you like way too aggressive where you don't know how to give up a little bit of control and co create with the universe? Can you be in this stable place if you kind of think about the core where you're moving forward on your own accord with not too much forward momentum, but also not being too passive as well? Okay, so some of the issues of the third chakra is all about autonomy, energy, our energy levels, so we can take that action, individuation, so defining who we are outside of our, family of origin. It's about our self esteem and our self confidence in our definitions of ourselves. So, believing in ourselves and believing in our inherent goodness and our ability, our capability to face challenges in this world, right? When the sacral chakra, which is the third chakra, is in balance, we feel like we have a healthy sense of self discipline, a healthy sense of self esteem. We feel like we are moving forward in our goals and taking action. We feel like we can meet life's challenges. We feel very capable. What else did I leave out? And we have like a warm personality. So if this is in balance, that energy is going to shift you to feel really just, confident in yourself, and that confidence propels you to have the persistence to move forward on what it is your will. You'll like define it first of all because that's part of the third chakra, and then you'll also be able to move forward towards making whatever it is that you want happen. Okay, so like I said in other trainings on the chakras, you can either be in excess or you can be deficient if you're not balanced. So excess is about like having a little bit too much of this energy, right, in your life. So if you're excess in the sacral chakra, you're going to feel aggressive, you're going to have control issues, you may be manipulative to get your own way, stubborn, you might have like that excess type A energy. So it's about having too much of this energy if you're in excess of the sacral chakra energy. And if you're deficient, you're more like passive. You're letting other people make decisions for you, right? You don't have that willpower that's keeping you, moving along with what you want. You're kind of going with the flow. You might have poor self discipline. You might have poor self esteem, those kinds of things. So it's all about, not having enough of yourself, not defining yourself enough, and not taking actions towards things that you want, and kind of being more passive. So really think about, am I a little bit excess in this chakra, or am I a little bit deficient? Because that's going to determine what you do to balance this chakra. So let's talk about what you can do to balance your third chakra energy. So if you are deficient, I want you to start taking more risk, because risk taking is going to it's really going to force you to build some trust in yourself. It's going to force you to be confident that you're making the right decision, but to be confident in the fact that you are capable of handling life's challenges. So if you feel like you're deficient in the third chakra, be sure to start taking some risks to sort of build out and balance that energy. If you're excess in the third chakra, like you're really hyper, maybe aggressive on what you want, you have maybe some control issues, and you might want to, pull back just a little bit to balance this energy. You can do things like deep relaxation. You can do third chakra meditations. Again, if you want, my cocoa butter for the mind is all about chakra meditations. It just DM me on Instagram, and I'd happily send you that for free. And then, so you want to just learn to be able to relax, to be able to trust more others, and not feel like you have to control everything yourself if you're excess in the third chakra. Some other things you might do just to build up balance in the third chakra is sit-ups. It works on that core physically. So sometimes we may gain control in a chakra in the physical aspect first, and that stands as a metaphor to help us gain that in our emotional lives and mental lives as well. So the more you work on core control, things like sit-ups and planks, the more access you do have to things like self-confidence and willpower and self-discipline. So it kind of all works together, and that core strength kind of metaphorically represents that in other areas of our life as well. If you just joined us, I'm talking about chakra balance, how to balance your third chakra, to be precise. Really talking about willpower, self-discipline, self-confidence. That's all the third chakra energy. We talked about if you're in excess, you're maybe a little bit more controlling and relying too much on your own willpower. And if you're deficient, you might be a little bit passive, not taking enough action, or being a little bit inaction. And now we're kind of just discussing some ways to balance our third chakra. We talked about risk taking for those that are a little bit more passive to build that willpower, relaxation for those that are a little bit more in excess, and then the exercise. Another thing you want to do if you want to balance the third chakra is work on your ego strength. So a lot of times psychologists talk about ego in a negative sense. We talk about our ego defenses, right? But sometimes we don't have enough ego strength, whereas we can't protect. The ego is all about protecting our identity or our sense of self. And some people don't have any sort of built up structure within themselves or self-esteem to protect that. So you want to work on things that are going to build your self-esteem. And research has shown that we don't build our self-esteem by thinking about it or talking about it. The way you build your self-esteem is through esteemable acts. So the more things you can do that make you feel proud of yourself, that make you feel high self-esteem, that's how you're going to build your self-confidence. So just start doing those things that will make you proud of yourself. Go take that walk that you keep saying you're going to go take. Go to the gym. Go do things that afterwards you're going to be like, wow, I'm really proud of myself, you know? So that's going to help you build that or balance that third chakra as well. You also want to work on any issues of shame. So the difficult feelings for chakra 2 was all about guilt, and the difficult feelings for chakra 3 is all about shame. So guilt is about feeling bad for things that you do, whereas shame is feeling bad for who you are. So if you've had any experiences in your life that have made you feel bad for who you are as a person, you're going to want to start to process those issues either in therapy, journaling, talking to someone, or just kind of thinking about it to yourself, doing the conscious work to say, where did these ideas come from? What are the beliefs that are supporting this shame? And how can I redefine the way that I think about myself, that I give myself more grace, that I forgive myself, that I am actually proud of myself? So working on issues of shame is really going to help you balance out the third chakra. Shame expert Brene Brown, watch any of her TED Talks if you don't know where to get started on working on issues of shame. You also want to start, if you want to balance this chakra, is practicing autonomy, especially if you're deficient in the energy of the third chakra. How can you find ways to be less dependent on others, more autonomous, feeling more independent? That's going to build your self-esteem, build your willpower, which is then in turn going to build your discipline and your ability to take actions because you're trusting yourself. So if you feel like, maybe you're a little bit too dependent on your parents or your spouse, kind of start finding ways on how can I be more reliant on self so that I can trust myself more and start practicing that more. And then the last thing I want to mention is sun therapy. That's an odd one, but sun therapy is actually something you can use to balance your third chakra. The solar plexus chakra is all about the sun. The color is yellow. And so going outside in the sun is going to help you gain some energy. A lot of us are not getting enough vitamin D, which can cause depression actually, which makes you not want to move, not want to take action. And something as simple as getting out in the sun on an everyday basis for enough time, getting that vitamin D can help you be more energized. It's just going to help you balance that third chakra. So just to tie this all together, today we talked about balancing our third chakra, the basics of the third chakra. It's all about willpower, self-discipline, self-confidence, believing in ourselves, and then taking actions based on that underlying trust in ourselves, right? And on the deficient side, we're maybe not believing in ourselves and kind of passive, letting other people, make decisions for us. And when we're on an excess side, we're maybe controlling, maybe sometimes manipulative. Our will is like kind of in overdrive, right? And when we're balanced, we have that healthy sense of self-discipline, that healthy sense of willpower. We feel individuated, autonomous, those types of things, right? Then we mentioned some things that we can do to balance, whether we're deficient or in excess. We talked about risk-taking, which is going to help you build that self-esteem and be able to face life's challenges if you're more deficient. Talked about deep relaxation, things like meditation for those that are a little bit more excess. Exercise and sit-ups, so working on the physical first part. That's our third chakra is all about our core, front and back. And so what can we do to metaphorically work it on the physical? So building things like self-discipline, all those kinds of things physically, and then transferring that to our mental life. We talked about building our ego strength. So ego is not always a negative thing, especially if you don't have enough ego strength. Working on defending your identity, defining who you are first, and finding ways to not compromise on that is how we build ego strength. That can help you balance the third chakra. Working on issues of shame. If you don't know where to start, Brene Brown, just look up one of her TED Talks or Oprah Talks. Oh, thank you. So kind. And then practicing autonomy. So if you feel like you get dependent on in relationships, a little bit clingy, that might be a sign that you don't really trust yourself. So if you just start practicing being more independent, less dependent on your parents, less dependent on your spouse or whoever it is, your friends, that can help build some of that strength in yourself, to help you feel balanced in this area of your life. And then we talked about sun therapy. Getting that vitamin D is going to help you feel a little bit more energized. If anyone has any questions, please, you can either leave them on the YouTube video. This will be reposted on YouTube next week. You can DM me here on Instagram _ Tiffany Shelton, or I'm going to post this as an IGTV. You can just, if you're watching IGTV, you can comment below. I love to chat about all things chakras, psychology, manifestation. So it would be my pleasure to help you out if you have any questions. And then until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Namaste.